Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. It's actually 8:41 p.m. Friday night. I generally film my Sat Chats at the end of the day on Friday after I'm done pretty much the stuff I was doing for the week, and I am still mid-project, but I need to let this project sit because I'm doing an oil painting, and I'll see if I can bring this over and show you. This is where we're at here. This is for Critique Club, and also Sketchbook Sunday, and I need to put some highlights and stuff and some details, and it's just too greasy right now. But I'm pleased with how it's going. I didn't know I was gonna paint this until I went to the grocery store this morning, and I found a rag clean enough to wipe my hands off on. And I went to the grocery store this morning because I haven't been in like, I don't know, a long time. It's been so long. Jason's been doing the grocery shopping. He like run in and grab stuff. He's a list shopper, and I'm more of a freeform, gotta be inspired by what I see shopper. So needless to say, we have enough oranges in this house to feed and to keep us to keep a submarine full of semen from getting scurvy. We've got so much citrus because I bought oranges the last time I went, and then he bought oranges, and then I just bought oranges again and grapefruit, and it's out of control. We have so much citrus in our house right now. So nobody's gonna be getting scurvy or rickets or whatever they get from not having enough vitamin C here. It's insane. So I've got to make sure I eat an orange with every meal now because we've got so many. But they're in season now, and so are pomegranates. So when I saw a pomegranate, I was like, this is so pretty. My little still life over here. I had these cute little dessert cups, and I thought, because I wouldn't just set up a still life. Actually, what I was going to do was I was going to use a bunch of these flower frogs. Aren't they pretty? These were my mother-in-law's, and then they got passed on to my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law dropped a box of these off, and I thought they were so pretty, and I was going to do a still life with the flower frogs, and I was arranging them, and it wasn't working out, and so I arranged a few, and then I did a quick sketch to see how bored I would get by painting this, and I did a very quick sketch, and I got bored. And of course, you know, it was just a quick sketch. My drawing wasn't that great to start off with, but I don't know. I don't know if I really would be interested in doing that many of them because I think it would be too repetitious. But maybe if I chose one and did it really detailed, maybe made it really big and really detailed, that would be interesting. I'm not sure. But they're so pretty, and I kind of just want to like stick pens in them. You know, it's like I want to go find all my pretty pens. Maybe buy some more pretty pens and stick them in. Isn't this pretty? You know, it's just kind of fun. You know, whimsical. It's like a paperweight with pens in it. I don't know. So I think they're pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I don't know if I'm going to paint them, but I like the idea of sticking pens in them. I don't really have too many fancy pens. I've got plenty of pens. But maybe my fountain pens or my dip pens or something. Maybe just a few. Maybe some colored pencils. Who knows? It's a very, very, what's the word? It's late for me. I've been going to bed at like 9:30 lately. It's a very inefficient way to store your pens is what it is, but man, they're so sparkly. They're so sparkly and pretty. Like this one's like actually purple. Let me hold it into the light. Maybe you can see that. Let me bring this light over. Can you see? It's actually purple. Isn't that pretty? I want a really strong light on it because it just looks kind of black. Otherwise, you don't see the color unless you like have it up to the light. Hello. Oh, it's been a long week. But it's been a good week. We did the craft along over at Craft World. You can find it if you go to craftworld.com, and you can see the replay there. If you go to the experts tab, and then you can click on my name, or I'll just put a link in the video description. You can watch the replay. It was a lot of fun. It was an hour and a half long, and I had 5 projects. 5. Well, was it 5? I did 3 bags, a wreath, and a card. Yes, it was 5 projects, and I was kind of worried that well, you know, you're always worried when you're doing a live workshop, especially on somebody else's website, that you're either going to A, not have enough time to do your project, B, you're gonna have way too much time and nothing to fill it with. Well, I guess those are the two main worries. Although I came up with a third worry, never even occurred to me until it happened. You'll completely forget what you're doing when you're live on someone else's website. And that happened to me. So where it's like at the end and it's like 5 minutes before, you know, an hour and a half is up. So I was thinking, what else can I do? And I had a bow. I have the boxes all packed up, so I'm not going to use them for Christmas wrapping. But So I had this box with a pretty bow on it that I had tied. And by tied, I mean like I wrapped it around my bow jig, and I, then tied a piece of ribbon around that, and then I glued it down artistically so it looked perfect on the box. So I asked if anyone wanted to learn how to make a bow like that. And of course they did. So I got my bow tool out, and I got my ribbon, and I completely forgot how to make a bow. Oh my word. I think it's because I made the samples like a month ago, because I like to be prepared, but sometimes I prepare way too early because I don't like to have things hanging over my head. It's like if I know I have something due, I have an assignment due, then I want it done like ASAP, because as long as that assignment is looming over my head, I can't take anything else on. I can't start another project, or I'll just kind of be fretting about that project. So I am like, and I wasn't like this in school. I think it's just because I enjoy my work. So I want to do it, I want to be on top of it, as opposed to being like a high schooler and not really caring that much. So I like to get it done. I don't like to have that kind of on my shoulders, just kind of dreading just not having done it. I don't like to have undone things. So I made my samples up way ahead. Luckily, I typed up instructions for all of my samples in case we didn't finish in time and there were projects we didn't do. I wanted to be able to have anybody that came have that resource. By the way, the replay is free. You can find all that, the access to all that stuff. It should be on my Craft World page. If not, go to my blog and I'll make sure I add a link to the instructions. So anyway, the first thing, before forgetting to tie the bow, I'm like making the boxes and bags, and I'm like, I'm like scoring the boxes, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right. I wrote down a complete wrong direction, wrong measurement. Luckily, I remember, it occurred to me before I scored the paper, and so I made a mental note. I made a verbal note, said don't use those instructions, replace this number with that number. And then I did edit the document that I made for anybody to have that wanted the instructions, and so yeah, I had to edit that, and I was a little embarrassed by that, but not too bad. I mean, it's a free class. We're all having a good time. I caught it before anyone could have ruined their paper, so that was okay. So then the other thing was that at the end of the broadcast, they're doing a bow. I completely forgot how to make a double looped bow on my bow jig. It's just like, whew, I was like having a moment. I could not remember. And so I started, and I'm like, I had to just say, hold on a second, we gotta do this again. I completely just had a brain cramp. Do this again. Oh my word. So I did get myself all straightened out. I think it's because I had to make a bunch of bows for my decorations outside at the house here, and I use a different method for it's similar, but it's a different type of ribbon, different type of wrapping, different type of bow that I do for my outdoor decorations. It's not that different. I really should have been able to remember, but I was kind of like a little embarrassed at the end. But that was bonus info. But still, I was like, wow, I forgot how to tie a bow. Apparently some new information came into my brain that was more important and wrote over the how to make a bow information. I sometimes think our brains are like that, we get new information in and something else has got to go, especially at this stage of life, friends. It seems to be, people have senior moments, and people will say, they had a brain cramp or they had a brain fart. I'm just going to call it a many moment, and all you ladies of a certain age know what I mean. Your brain just isn't the same. Once you hit your mid-40s, things start going a little wrong. You start forgetting things. But anyway, I did remember the bow after all, and it was fun. We had a good time. What else? Oh, so I did a big marker comparison video, and I compared I think it turned out to be about 30 markers that, I have some open stock. The markers over here are my open stock markers. And then I've got my marker sets in the other room. That I keep my marker sets together because generally if I'm using one of the sets, it might have been for a review. And a lot of times I hang on to those because I get a lot of questions like, how does blank compare to blank? Or is the biennial marker similar to the Art and Fly marker? Somebody will ask me to compare, like, how's the Ohuhu marker compared to the Illustrator marker? And if I don't know right off, I'll just grab like the markers and swatch them out real quick, and then I can say, or how do the numbers compare, or whatever. I'm always looking for similarities between these different markers because sometimes like nibs can be interchanged, or like if you have a marker you love but your nib is gone and they don't sell replacements, or the ink is gone, sometimes there's a comparable solution. You can get an inker from this company, you can get a nib from this company, and you can fit them in. So I'm often pulling nibs out and I'm trying for people. It's the least I can do, because often I get sent product for free. So I mean, that's the least I can do, is to help people out that want to know before they buy if this is going to work with that. So totally, I totally happy to do that. So I did a video where I compared like almost 30 brands of markers, because every year I get emails and phone calls from friends saying my kid wants Copics. Holy cow, they are so expensive. You know, thinking that this can't be right. Lindsay, where do I buy my Copics? I'm like, no, that's really the price. So I thought it would be interesting to put a comparison together. Also comparing, because there are other certain markers that are kind of hip with the kids, like a Hoo-Hoo is very hip with the kids, and I think the Arctic's Out markers are pretty hip with the kids, because they are they're marketed through a lot of the influencers that younger artists would really like. So I can also tell the parents that, okay, you know, the $500 set of Copics isn't happening, but if you get the Hoo-Hoos, they are gonna know at least 5 influencers that they like that use Hoo-Hoos in their videos, and they're gonna be cool with that. So yeah, and plus, you know, obviously comparing quality and you know, what's the best value and stuff. So that video is up. I scanned my handwritten spreadsheet, which is quite a treat. If you can read that, you are quite talented. But I did scan it and put it up on my blog for now. I am going to type it up and hopefully have links to all my reviews for all the different products, so you can learn more information about that. And obviously check out other people's reviews too. I don't expect you to get all your artistic information from me, especially if your artwork's different than mine. It pays to investigate other people that have styles more similar to what you like or what you do. You know, just get a few opinions before you make a big purchase, because, you know, the opinions are out there, the reviews are out there, you might as well. But I thought that'd be really helpful. Turns out people really liked it, and I'm hoping that'll be a resource that I can add to. I can't obviously add to the video, but I could add to the spreadsheet over the years. So I've wanted to do that for like the longest time. Something I really wanted to do, but as I have just the time it took to compile that comparison video, I don't think it would be possible. Plus, with all the new marker brands popping up and the fact that I don't have complete sets of any of the open stock markers, it would be impossible. But it would be so cool. Somebody should do this, not me. Somebody else should do this. I totally would support it. Should do a cross-reference database of all the brands of markers. Wouldn't it be cool to know that if you had a cranberry Stampin' Up! Marker, that you could use the you know, number R2 Art and Fly refill to refill it? Wouldn't that be cool? I think that'd be awesome. So somebody should get on that. But I mean, who the heck would have all those markers? Who would have 358 Copic markers and 200 Oohoo's, and you know, who would have all these different markers to cross-reference? I don't know. That was one of the blocks that came to me. It's like, yeah, I have a lot of markers and I don't even have that many markers. But that would be so cool. There probably would be a way to do it like with technology, because there's probably some sort of RGB code or something that each marker brand has or uses, and probably the swatches could be compared if the swatches were accurate, if there were accurate swatches. But there's so much like discrepancy between scans and photographs and computer monitors and everything, that I don't know how accurate you could be, because, you know, I've looked at online swatches and bought markers and they're way lighter or way darker than what the swatch on the website looked like. So yeah, unless you're swatching it on everything on the same paper, it's really difficult to do an apples to apples comparison. And I'm not even that picky about colors, you know. I'm just going to grab what's, you know, what looks the best. And something else I want to mention that completely, well, not really unrelated, but if you're looking at this setup and you're thinking, oh, I really like that marker rack, I like how you have this set up. This is set up like this because of the way that I film. If I was just working and not filming, I would have this in front of me. I would have this on like a shelf in front of me, so I could be looking at that when I'm working. That's how I used to have this on my big table, but I don't like having anything on my table because I like to make just the supplies I'm using usually take up my whole table, and then I wipe it all down. I clear it down when I'm done a project, wipe everything down and start fresh, because I believe making your space easier to clean, you'll get more done than making everything easy to access. I think it's the same with cooking. That's a KonMari I think it was in her second book, it was one of those things, it's like, don't make your kitchen so it's easy to access everything, make it so it's easy to clean. And that made so much sense. It's like, yeah, because like you used to have all these spices out and all these things out on the counter, and it was such a pain to clean because like you'd be crumbs everywhere and it would just be gross. It'd just be gross because I wouldn't clean around all those bottles. It was gross. So putting all the spices up in the spice rack, and then, which I can actually I can reach a spice cupboard from my stove. So I mean, they're plenty accessible. Having those counters clean, I can get so much more done. So same thing with my art table. Right now it's a mess because I'm in the middle of that oil painting, and then when I'm done that tomorrow, I'm gonna wipe it down because I'm gonna work on it tomorrow. I hope it sets up overnight enough that I can get a highlight to stick, because right now I'm in the grease big time. But really enjoying that painting. Oh, something else I'm working on is these little clay brush rests. And there was this air dry clay in the November Smart Art box, and I've never used the air dry Sculpey before. The only air dry clay I've used has been like the Martha Stewart clay, and I like that. It's because it's so lightweight and it's nice for like scrapbooking and card making embellishments. But if it gets wet, it gets all slimy. So, I don't know if I've used any other air dry clay except for like the actual stoneware clay, and they call it air dry clay, but it cracks and shrinks, and it's like totally worthless for air dry clay. If it gets wet, it just turns back to mud. So, I haven't really been that impressed with that type of clay, but I thought I would just do something easy and something I could actually use. So I made some chopstick rests and some brush holders, and we'll see. I want to make like a little, I want it to look like ceramics, so they're actually pretty, I want to see if it gets slimy again. It doesn't seem to be getting slimy again. It don't suggest you lick your clay, but I don't think it's, doesn't seem to be getting soft again, so hopefully it doesn't. I'm going to make a glaze with some varnish and some acrylic paint, and I want it to look pottery-ish. So that's my plan. I'll be working on that next week and probably have a video out next week. We got a fast turnaround here once I finally finish filming everything. But I thought that'd be really cute, and I like the little brush rest idea. Keep your brushes organized on your table. I don't know, maybe it's just more clutter, probably. But I like the chopstick rest too, though, because when if you're eating with chopsticks, then it keeps, you know, the eating points off the table. I think restaurants should have chopstick rests, because you don't want to set your chopsticks down on a table. Not that anyone's going to restaurants right now, you know, because that's just kind of gross. So I always like kind of hover it on my bento box, and then I'm like, are they going to take this as a cue that I'm done eating? Well, I'm certainly not. So, yeah, what to do? What to do? Crazy Americans. We don't know what to do with our chopsticks. We're so uncouth. At least I am. I don't know. You guys are probably all sophisticated and posh, but not me. What else? Let me see. Oh, all of my art sets are back in stock at jerrysartorama.com. So I'll put a link in the video description, or if you go to Jerry's Artorama, if you search Lindsay, they'll pop up. The Turner one has been out and they can't keep that in stock, but it is in stock now, at least at the time I'm recording this video. But they've got the Turner watercolor set, the Lucas watercolor set, and the Berlin water mixable oil set. That's what I'm using on that. And they're in right now, and I think you should be able to get them by Christmas, but double check the shipping times if you're going to try to get that for a Christmas present. But I'm really glad they're back in stock, because a lot of people were asking about them and frustrated that they had to wait so long. And I don't know how long those notify me, how long that notify me button goes for, like if it drops out after a couple months or what. So they're in now if you're waiting for them. I made a little list on my phone, make sure I don't forget about anything, because it's late, as you know, and I can get a little punchy. Let's see. Oh, and because I've been painting all day, my eyes are completely, well, I haven't been painting all day, but I've been working on computers and stuff like that, so my eyes are kind of tired. I guess that's about it. Yeah, we'll have a new critique club tutorial on Sunday. It'll be a long one, so you can definitely parse it out over a few days and make it last. You know, it to be kind of fun. Pomegranates are kind of like wintertime fruits, so you can be kind of a festive, I guess, thing to paint. Maybe, I don't know. It seems like you only see them in the grocery stores in like November, December, January. They must just come into season then, because you never see them in the summer, and they're usually crazy expensive. They were 2 for $5 today, and I think that's the lowest I've seen them in quite a long time. But the kids do love them. They're supposed to be full of antioxidants. I'm actually going to take the Still Life upstairs and let the kids have it if they want it. I find the seeds annoying, quite frankly. I like the flavor of the juice, but the seeds I just find annoying. and I took a photo. I took a photo of my still life already. Plus, a pomegranate, once you slice into it, it changes pretty quickly. So I'll be better off finishing that off with the photo, I think. And I'm just looking around to see what else I've been working on. Oh, the kids have been knitting. Well, the girls have been knitting, and so my beautiful. I'm gonna spin the camera over. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's pretty dark over there. But the yarn. Can you see that? Oh, let's see if I can zoom in some more. Oh, friends, look at that. I have to keep I'm keeping my office door shut because I'm afraid the cat's gonna get into that. What a mess. I think I'm gonna have to go back to the tote storage for yarn because yeah, it's really hard to keep the yarn in the shelves because it just wants to like tumble out. And the reason I filled those shelves with yarn is to be kind of like sound editing because this room is not very cluttered. I have put some things on the walls and that's helped a bit. And I don't know if the yarn really even made that much of a difference, but it was really echoey at first, and that was my big that was my big idea. I'm gonna put the yarn in here that's gonna deaden all the sound, but now it's really messy. So I think I could probably put them all in like one decent size plastic tote and just put them back in the storage area. The old craft room, I mentioned it before, I use that as as like a staging area. So when I'm like gonna make a card, I chop down, if I don't have like, I keep a certain amount of card bases and layers and just your basic stuff in here. But like if I'm doing a weird type of fold card, like I'm doing a slimline, or I'm doing a stair step or something strange, not that I haven't done any weird cards for a while, but if I was, anyways, I prep all the stuff over there, I get all the stamps together, whatever I need together, embellishments, whatnot, and put it in a basket and bring it in here, do the work, then bring everything back and put it away. For anything that I'm not using fairly frequently, it lives in there and it's very well organized, although I do want to go over and kind of defrag. I haven't defragged yet, but by defragging I mean like I get out all of my colored pencils and from all the nooks and crannies, and then I put them in like one cube, you know, just kind of because things come and go, and you know, things get add to the stash and you use stuff up. Especially this year, we've used a lot of stuff up. You know, because I haven't been out to stores or anything, just using and trying to use up what I have and stuff before it expires, if it's something that will expire. And you know, I let the kids use things too that I've already done videos with it and stuff, so I don't really need it anymore for the business. Let them have it and use it. So yeah, I could definitely go through and reorganize and whatnot. I love that. I love doing that. I don't know why. I think it's very calming. I like to see like an empty shelf or an empty drawer, and it's nice to see everything all organized. I did do a little show and tell of my junk drawer on the YouTube channel this week, so if you're curious about that, that video is up. And it's funny because if I have anything that I don't really have a category for, it goes in the junk drawer. And the other day, my son's girlfriend wanted to make some resin jewelry, and she had this list of things that she needed that she was going to order on Amazon. And I was like, wait a minute, no, you don't need to order anything. I'll go get you everything that I have. I had these leftover little pressed flowers. She needed pressed flowers, and I knew they were right in that junk drawer. So when I went to get those, I'm always finding little treasures. It's like, oh, I remember that, and I remember why I saved that. Why did I save that? You know, all these what am I keeping that for? So I thought it'd be kind of fun just to kind of go through it with you guys, and I did, and it was fun. So so that was kind of just a little. Yeah, really lowering the bar to content here. Jeez, what am I gonna make a video today? I'm running out of time. Let's look in my junk drawer. Every YouTuber in December. We need more content. Oh boy, guys, 9:04. I think I've said all I need to say. We've talked about nothing for 23 minutes. One other thing, and I'll share this with you because it's a really great gift idea, and it's something you can make. Every year, if you've been following the channel, you know all about this, but every year I make a scrapbook calendar. So I got a bunch of photos here of the kids from the year. I go print out photos from the whole year. Sometimes I have to get the kids to send me photos because they might have, now that they're, older, they've got photos. And so I printed out the photos last weekend to get ready for this project. And I go to a website, and I think the website name is on the bottom of these. Yes, pdfcalendar.com. And what I do is I print out a calendar. And I print it, I usually do landscape, but you can do a portrait orientation. I print it out on cardstock, and then I use my binding tool. I have an office comb binder that I use for this, and I bind the pages together, and then I put down, scrapbook paper on it, and I put photos, embellishments, and I decorate the cover, so it's like an album. So at the for Christmas I give them this calendar, and I usually have like a pretty binder clip so you don't have to put holes in the calendar, and so it can hang from the wall from the binder clip, and they're just so cute. And oh, I should have brought down, I have some older ones that were my mother-in-law's. When she passed, they gave them all back to us. But yeah, they can hang up, and every new month they have a new scrapbook layout to look at, and then at the end of the year they've got 12 scrapbook pages all done. They can keep them together like that as a scrapbook, just like, you know, soft covered scrapbook, or they could slide it into 8.5 by 11 pages if they want. But the neat thing about the calendar format is that, like, you know, throughout the year you write things down. Like, you might write somebody's birthday, you might write like something that happened, you might write an appointment or a party or something like that you're going to go to. I think that's kind of fun because, like, you're looking at that scrapbook maybe a year from now or 5 or 10 years from now, and then you see those little things you wrote in your calendar, like you know, oh, I picked up my puppy this day, or I did this day, or I went to the beach that day. It's just kind of like a fun walk through memory lane with the photos, but also then with what you actually did. Kind of like a planner, really. So I make one of those for my parents every year. Actually what started me on this was when my son was born, and my kids were all born in the fall, so my son was born in the end of October. And so Christmas rolled around, and you know, he got a new baby, you know, you're just like, it's you got the new baby brain, which is very similar to the mid-40 brain, and I was at Walmart, and I think I was getting photos developed, actually, because, you know, you take photos of your baby like every 5 minutes. They don't look any different. They're not doing anything different. They're laying there, but still, you got to have a million photos of it. And so I was getting my weekly photos developed. It was probably a film. It was probably like a 35 millimeter camera roll that I was getting developed. And I was standing in the photo area waiting for my order, and there was a calendar display. And there was this one that said scrapbook calendar, and it was a 12 by 12 calendar, and on every page it was just like, there were like decorations. It was just all flat, it was printed, and there were like rectangles, like 4.25 by 6.25, or 4.5 by 6.5 rectangles that you would paste a photo onto. Well, I thought that was delightful. I hadn't started scrapbooking yet. I bought that calendar and I pasted it in the photos, and I gave them to my mother, and boy, did she love that calendar. That was her favorite gift ever. And so after that, she's like, she wanted a scrapbook calendar every year. And I could not find those calendars again, ever. And so, like, the next year, I went on a website. It was the Hewlett-Packard website, because I had an HP printer, and you could print out the pages with your photos on them. So, like, digital scrapbooking. So that was very fancy. So that's what I did the second year. And then the next year, I had my twins in September, so I was like, I can't make a scrapbook calendar. This is too much. Life is too hard. I've got 3 children under the age of 3. I cannot cope. And but I was like, you know, I really miss a scrapbook calendar. So for her birthday, I think that's when I came up with with doing, I don't know if I started using the PDF calendar at that time or a different website, but then it just became the yearly gift. I gave it to her for her birthday in February instead of Christmas, and I felt really, really guilty. So every Christmas I get that calendar done. It's the best gift. It's not very expensive. It's fun to make. It's creative, and they love it. And you could do it for like aunts, you know, grandparents. It's just wonderful. You could even give a new mom a blank one with the squares, with the rectangles they can paste their own photos in. So there's a little gift idea for you. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening to my chat about nothing. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe, love each other, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye!